the hottest topic Nigerians are talking about today is the fact that the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra was arrested on Tuesday, yesterday. And it's the biggest news today. And Nigerians are expressing their opinions on this arrest. You know, comments are coming in from all over the world concerning if the appropriateness of the extradition, was it properly done? And if the Nigerian government should tread cautiously on how this man is continuously tried, especially because he represents a whole nation of people. He represents a whole youth people who believe in his ideology. So there have been different thoughts and comments from all over, and I would like to hear your thoughts. Before I bring in our guests to share his thoughts, let me come to you, ladies. What are your general thoughts on not just how he was brought back, but how he should be treated?
Okay, so my first thought is, well, he jumped bail, he must face that.
Yeah.
So finally he was caught, and then he has to face that. I mean, it's in the right of federal government to make sure that he faces prosecution for jumping bail. That's one. Secondly, because of what he represents and the delicateness of the matter, I think that government should be very careful that they make sure that the system of justice is operated fairly so that everybody can see, right, so that there's no cause for any groups of people or any persons to say, oh, this was actually a witch hunt. But when people see that that this is done properly and is followed judiciously, they are able to say, well, we can see from the courts that this is what he did, and these are the steps that have been taken to prosecute him fairly.
Yeah.
All right.
So I share in the sentiment of those that are saying that nothing must happen to him. I share that sentiment very strongly. I feel that the government, everybody in charge of Nnamdi Kanu right now should be at 100% alert to ensure that he remains in good health, no harm comes to him, no accidental discharge. Even if he chooses to take his own life, he is not allowed to. He's under 24-hour supervision because we understand the delicacy of what he's going through. I want him to face fair justice, but I also want him, number one, to be safe, because I don't want anybody in the guise of reprisal or Boko Haram Yusuf case to happen again. Number two, I believe that there is a reason that millions of people followed him. And the government shouldn't just think they are dealing with one person. But like in the case of Boko Haram, they are dealing with an ideology, a disgruntlement from a group of people that like what he's saying, even if they don't like him as a person. We must also deal with that area. So there is a part of justice for him. He jumped bail. He's a leader of a group that has been proscribed. All of that on one side. The other side is the agitation side of what is he saying? What are the complaints? Why are people following him? You need to understand that and deal with it as well.
Okay, BC.
Yeah, so for me, the matter is a very sensitive one. And this is the time that a lot of people are watching. The outside world is watching. We have already had, you know, agitations that the government, the presidency is nepotistic and all of that. So this is now like an example to show, are you actually nepotistic or you will follow the rule of law? So everybody's watching, and I would like the federal government to be very careful on the steps that they take, the next steps that they take. And also, we've had different sociocultural groups talking about what has happened, and they are asking that the rule of law be followed. They are asking that it's not just about this one person that has been caught. The problem is still there, even if you do away with him. We need to deal with the problem. The things they are asking for, the marginalization that they have been crying for, are you making plans to see that it is resolved, to bring their trust back to the government? So it's a very sensitive thing for me, and I just hope that we will see the processes, everything will be transparent enough so that we don't have issues of international court saying...
So this issue, you see, I get that. But there are people who are using this opportunity to gloat. I've seen some posts saying, finally, yay. And I think, and it's, I would almost say disgraceful, because some of these are government officials. Because the truth is that things are quite tense the way they are. And I don't think it's time for us to begin to gloat. It's, just like we said, to be careful. But on the flip side, some people are also saying they should release him. I mean, I saw Showore's post saying that self-determination is not a crime. I think it's also very important for us to draw a line. There's a difference between self-determination and secession. They are two totally different issues. However, what are your thoughts on the fact that people using this arrest to begin to gain and cause more issues and tension, because the nation is already tense as it is. So, and we are trying to get some sanity. So, in your view, I mean, when Showore comes up and says, "Oh, they should allow him to go," there's an issue, there's a legal part. Or do you think, in the interest of how sensitive this matter is, he should be let go?
So, let me quickly say that I don't think the Igbo people should allow anybody use them for what they really do not represent or what they stand for. Ohaneze has appealed to them that this is not the time for carrying out placards, procession, release this and release that. Let him face the law, and we hope that the law will take its course. Yes, justice, it will be just and fair to him. So this is not that time where you now allow people to say, okay, they've caught this person, or we now start comparing to say that we have people in the Northeast who have done this and done that, they have not been proscribed. This is not the time. Let us just observe, and hopefully things will be done right.
Yeah, so, I think also we should just remind ourselves that he was arrested. Why he was arrested in 2015 was on an 11-count charge bordering on terrorism, treasonable felony, managing an unlawful society, publication of defamatory matter, illegal possession of firearms, and improper importations of goods, among others. He's also accused of instigating violence, especially in the southeastern Nigeria, resulting in the loss of lives or property of civilians, military, paramilitary, police forces, destruction of civil institutions and symbols of authority. The reason I'm naming this is that so that we do not think this was just to pick a man up and just, make nonsense of him. There are charges against him. He should face the court of law, and then we'll see how that goes.
All right, let's go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring in our guests to join the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we have with us Pastor Itua Ighodalo of Trinity House. Welcome in the building.
Welcome, sir.
We love to have you because you're just a pastor after our own hearts. How are you doing, Pastor Itua?
I'm fine, by His grace.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Recently, we celebrated the passing of your wife a year. It was a very, very emotional. Once again, we'd just like to extend our love to you and your family, and we know that you're holding up well.
I'm doing my best. God is helping me, somehow.
All right.
Thank you, ladies.
So before you came in, we're talking about the state of the nation, and the hottest topic right now is the recent arrest of Nnamdi Kanu. And as many already know, that IPOB has been proscribed a terrorist group, and the fact that he has, I think before the break, Mariam had laid down the charges the federal government has against him, and Nnamdi Kanu has even been suspended by Facebook for hate speech and so many other crimes, and he has done even virtually. In your view, now that the government have made this arrest, and because it is also a sensitive matter, as Tokwe said before, he has a lot of following. So how best would you advise the government carry out the entire issue of Nnamdi Kanu? Yes, the courts will do theirs, but the rhetoric, the posture of the government concerning this matter, how can we be careful, or how must they do such that it doesn't instigate violence going forward?
Well, Nigeria is at a very, very sensitive stage in its history at this point in time. And a lot of things really need to be addressed and readdressed. And Nnamdi Kanu, one way or the other, represents one of those voices of people in Nigeria agitating for one thing or the other. And I think the government really needs to sit down and hear him and listen to him. Okay. They need to give him a fair chance to express himself and say exactly what he wants, he and his group. And they must find a way to address his fears, allay his fears, and see how to reassure him that whatever he's asking for will be dealt with according to the laws of the land of Nigeria. So, for example, if he's asking for a new state in Biafra, a new whatever it is, there must be a process in the laws of Nigeria by which an agitation for something like that can be dealt with. And let us then follow that process. If he's going to go and look for a referendum, he's going to go and talk to 20%
but
of...
let me throw this in as a follow-up. But how does a government negotiate or have a conversation with a man? Let me just quote him here. He says, "Our madness has just begun."
Okay.
Every night, young men would not sleep. You will come out of the starting of every road that leads to every populated area under human habitation to make sure the appropriate roadblocks are put in place to slow them down so we can catch them and kill them. That is what we want to do. Obiano is now talking to the governor of Anambra State, saying that from today onwards, anywhere you are seen in public, you will be attacked. You're a dead man walking. Kill them. So a man who says stuff like that, how does it, should the government call him to engage and have a conversation as a sovereign state? Is it something we should do, or use that hard stick of you have to be thrown in jail? What are your thoughts in that?
Well, a government is not just to use hard stick on everybody for whatever reason. A government is a father. A government, I mean, your child is in the house, he's crying, there's something wrong with him, or he's using wrong language and all manners of things. There must be a process by which you can actually address what he's saying. If he's not mentally okay, there's something to be done for it. If he's really serious and he knows what he's saying and this is what he's saying, then there must be a reason why he's saying so, and that must be addressed. You know, you just don't assume everybody is, there's something wrong with everybody, right, and then you grab him, you clamp him into jail, you do this, you do that. It must be proven that whatever he's doing is subversive to this country, right, and is going to cause disarray. And everything must be clear, everything must be transparent, everything must be properly seen, and then the right action must be taken. And then you can get the support of everybody knowing that Nnamdi Kanu has been given a fair hearing, right, according to every process and every court and every procedure in this country. Right. And every Nigerian has a right to fair hearing. Right. Every Nigerian has a right to some level of freedom of speech. Right. Every Nigerian has a right to self-determination. Right. And therefore, this must be a test case of the Nigerian nation dealing with the rights of the average Nigerian.
You know, some people would say that, and some people actually even agree and believe that sometimes when you have this kind of agitation or someone who seems to encourage dissenting views and almost, you know, trying to malign the government and the sovereignty of our nation, that the best thing to do is to shut that person down so that it does not become a movement like it has become right now. So I'm thinking, like, going before it happened the way it has happened, if we were to look back, what could we have done initially to have stemmed this from becoming a movement that is being accused of terrorism? Was it the manhandling from the beginning on government's part, or was this just like what I'm trying to say is that would it have been better to just arrest this person, shut them down immediately, instead of just having to have a conversation with this person, allowing the person to get on radio, on TV, and encourage violence, as the government is saying? Could it have degenerated to this point because of the way government initially handled it?
I think so. I think, first of all, they didn't take him seriously initially. They thought he was just a whisper in the wind. It means that they didn't do their work well. You know, they didn't do their homework properly. The security forces had not done their work as well as they should. And at that point, they should have received proper advice as to how to handle a person like this. If we had dealt with this man maybe 10, 15, I don't know when he came out, and really dealt with him and went through the process and concluded the matter, by now it would have been history. We would have forgotten about Nnamdi Kanu.
All right, let me pack Nnamdi Kanu on one side.
Let's ask one question, please. Pastor, you've heard our president, you know, we complained in the past that he didn't speak, but he's spoken a bit in recent times. Do you believe that, based on what you've heard from our president, and you know, we need hope, but in a very honest way, do you believe that our president and the administration at hand can handle the situation in a way that will not degenerate? And what would be your advice to them on how to go about it?
That's a very, very tough question that you've asked me. I don't know if they have the moderating skills and the human management skills that we need at this point in time because of their talk, their speak, and their body language. Okay? You need a lot of moderating skills at this point in time to handle both Nnamdi Kanu and his followers, because he has somehow cultivated quite a high level of following. And I think everybody should be brought around a table and sat together and spoken to. And the president has to come out even a little bit fartherly. It may even seem unusual. I'm a pastor. Maybe that's why I'm talking like that. But I think this is the time to sometimes deflate something. You know, sometimes somebody is looking for quarrel, looking for fight all over the place. And the Bible says, a gentle word turneth away wrath. You know, we need special skills at this time.
It could be applied in politics.
You know, it's applied everywhere. You'll be surprised. Many people have come to fight, to quarrel, and then they see a pleasant, simple, let's talk, and everybody goes calm and quiet. We probably need some kind of approach like that. And it must be seen to everyone that we have done this. It must be seen.
My fear is not everybody is together when it comes to even the agitations for secession. We know that the Southeast governors are a bit different. They are seeing things differently. And that's because that there's hope somehow that somebody of the Igbo extraction may make it to presidency in 2023. Now, do you think that if Nnamdi Kanu agrees to down tools because there's a promise that somebody of Igbo extraction may be president, do you think that would calm him? Because
or calm the men. Oh, he's a criminal already. He has plenty.
Allegedly. I'm talking about his followers. Do you think that may just make him feel, okay, we can actually work together as one Nigeria from what you've seen?
Well, what is Nnamdi Kanu asking for? Is he asking for an Igbo president?
No,
or is he asking for a Republic of Biafra? So, Nnamdi, why are you asking for a Republic of Biafra? Why? I want to be president of Biafra. Okay. If you want to ask for a Republic of Biafra, there's a process of getting a Republic of Biafra. Go around all your Biafrans, take a referendum of all your Biafrans, and let them all say,
we want you. We want to go with you. We won't have that.
There's a process. Nnamdi, follow the process.
Pastor Itua, I'm going to go on a break because you said something that I think is key, the process. And everybody has been talking about restructure. Everybody has been talking about we want a better nation. But people say, do something, do something, do something. What is this something? I would like us to break it down. Because following this process is so painstaking that it seems like nobody really wants to go through the process. We just want to wake up in the morning and say, okay, we've restructured now. That process of restructuring, people don't understand what it takes. And I think we need to be able to have that conversation and what it means. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have Pastor Itua of Trinity House here with us. Pastor Itua, before the break, we're talking about the process of democracy. And I worry because everybody always referred to Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. People forget that he was a dictator. You know, he came in and took hold of the government and made a lot of changes that we're all celebrating today. So he was a dictator. But we are in a democratic setting. And the democratic process can be painstaking. It's a long process to get rid of this decadence that we have. In your view, is this system working for us? Or do we begin to think of a new process that will work for us at this time that we are in right now, where we need to fix and sanitize the system?
Well, a lot of people don't remember the history of Nigeria. Nigeria never existed as a nation until 1914. And it consisted of a series of nation-states, different kinds of people. The Fulanis, the Hausas, the Ibibios, the Yorubas, the Ijos, the Shekiris, and so on and so forth. They were all living very well. You had a very strong Benin Empire. You had a strong empire in the Caliphate in Sokoto and all that and all that. And then the British came, okay? And for economic reasons. They came first for economy, then they came for slave trade, then they came to govern, then they brought religion, and then eventually you said you didn't want them anymore. And they set up a structure that they thought would continue to benefit them after they had left. Unfortunately, that structure was truncated, and it did not quite well, it's benefited them to a large extent because a lot of their companies are doing well here. But the problem is that a lot of us Nigerians did not wake up to smell the coffee. We did not wake up to look at the reality of our situation and our circumstances. And we did not wake up to chart a course for Nigeria and Nigerians as against a course for the different nation states of Nigeria. The British left behind a situation where there was no Nigeria as such. It was only on paper, and a lot of people have said it, that it's merely an expression, okay? The fundamentals that make a nation were not there. And the problem is that we Nigerians, too, did not wake up and develop the fundamentals that make a nation because we didn't have the right kind of leadership to push us in that direction. And because of the seeds that had been sown by our colonial masters. Okay, it's like you are leaving the house, you have 5 children, and you begin to advise each child differently. You tell this one, Magba from Ganya, Magba from
Divide and rule.
He's going to try and cheat you. You this one.
Be careful.
Be careful. This guy doesn't like you. You this one. Don't take nonsense. So they divided us.
Sir. And kept us together.
Yeah.
And kept us together.
Wow. But now we are waking up. So I don't know how awake we all are, but a few of us are beginning to see that that divide and rule, that way they put us together, is really not working. It's tilted to one side. Some people feel others are benefiting more than others, and that's, you know, what people are feeling. Now that some of us are waking up, what do you think is the right process? So we have different cultural groups who have said, let us come to the table. Let's have you come with your terms and conditions. You come with what you think would work for us. Let's renegotiate. Do you think that is the right way? And how soon can we start this process?
That is the only way. We're all adults now. Okay?
We've all woken up.
Everybody has woken up.
Every region.
To be honest, in 1954, 53 to 60, we had sat around this table. And we had all agreed to some extent. That's why we had regions and regionalisms. Yeah. And we had heads of regions. And we all said, let each region develop according to its own capacity, its own pace, its own interest. Let us share a few things in common. The same bathroom, the same drive-in, a few windows, 1 or 2 air conditioners.
Let's have our room.
Maybe from time to time, a common bus. But let each person have their own room. Decorate your room the way you want. Open as many windows as you want. You can come to the parlor and share the parlor. Yeah. Then there's a method by which you watch the TV. You watch for 2 hours, you watch for 2 hours, and then there's a national program we all watch together. We had agreed. But then the military came in 1966 and threw out that agreement. Wow. Who instigated them to do that? Only God knows. But they were instigated to do that. Because, first of all, it is acceptable. Military wants to command and control. And we're still having that military hegemony even till today. Yeah. Command and control. Yeah. Take charge. Not sit down and discuss and negotiate. And this is really the pain that every Nigerian is feeling at this time. We're all in some kind of pain.
Pastor Itua, you are aware of the confab, and I know many people were involved. Were you involved with the confab?
No, I wasn't.
No. Okay. So people have said that would take us, that's like the fastest way for us to get into a document, because it was extensive and there was, by and large, a lot of people were involved. Every region, every ethnicity, religion, all of that were covered. And that if we can just put that up to the National Assembly, do you think that would be a faster way for us to go, or we should go back and start discussing again?
Well, first of all, you need to look at that confab and review it. Okay, it's about a few years old now, and be sure that it's still fresh and relevant. And if we all agree it's still fresh and relevant, let us discuss it, let us agree. The problem, though, is that the eldest brother or the second eldest brother who was put in charge of the family resources, or who had control of the family resources, or a group of brothers who had control of the family estate, they're very reluctant to let
go. Yeah. That's it.
Very, very reluctant, because they're, it happens in families. Yes. Father dies, leaves the whole estate.
That's just
there are about 4 or 5 brothers in the family. They are taking the rent. They are living in the house. They are this and that. A few of us are struggling to go to school. To get them to sit down now and say, you know what, release some of this thing, or pay my school fees, or allow me to even fend for myself
becomes a problem.
From the little vegetable patch I have left. They say, no, plus you plus vegetable patch, I must be in charge.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now that brings me to the question of 2023 and youth participation and what should come first. Is this restructuring conversation, or how the youth should put themselves together to participate in the election, either putting someone forward, someone from their age group, someone of like mind, or even choosing someone who's already been in politics and making the person like the front person for 2023. Which should come first?
What you said is probably the best thing for us to do, because in the midst of all this, there's a small gap. Okay, there are laws within the family right now, and the law says that whatever the majority want is what we need. That is democratic elections. Everybody should choose Morayo, or choose Mariam, or choose BC, and say BC is who we want. If BC can have 30 million people who will say she's the one they want to be in Aso Rock, she's the one who will be in Aso Rock. And that is the way out now, before we start talking of restructuring. Because the brothers in the house now, they will not restructure. It is not really in their interest to restructure.
Wow. So let me. I watched it.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, how can I be in charge of all the dollars?
And then you have
say
to release some.
It will take a lot of grace.
Yeah.
A lot of grace.
Sacrifice.
A lot of sacrifice.
Because of that, let me come to you on this, because I watched a few of your interviews, clips that went viral not too long ago. And you mentioned names. In fact, you said that you were wondering, you were asking questions, why would Asiwaju want to run for 2023? You know, and some would say Asiwaju was able to take Lagos State from somewhere it was to a point and build a master plan for 25 years where all the successors have been able to follow. That, don't you think someone like that, who has experience in leadership and ability to plan ahead, might be fit for presidency? That's on one hand. Another person would say, the VP that we have, the vice president we have, is a friend of yours. And this is somebody that have shown some kind of leadership. Even when the president traveled, within 5 or 6 months, we saw some changes. You know, don't you think someone like that should also be pushed? So in your view, regardless of the antecedents that we see from these people, don't you think some of these people would make great leaders because they understand the terrain? Or do you think we should just go fresh? Let's just bring a whole bunch of fresh people who have never been stained by the Nigerian politics. What are you doing?
I like what you have said, and that is brilliant. Asiwaju is my very, very good friend. Okay? I love him very much, okay? And we've done things together. And so also is the VP. Exactly what you have said. What is in the best interest of Nigeria? Am I the one? Or should it be Yemi? Or should it be Itua Ighodalo? Or should it be Morayo? Who will serve the interest of Nigeria best?
Better.
Not saying that he must be the one. He must call all of us together. Sit down. Let's discuss. First of all, what do we want for Nigeria? Secondly, who do we want for Nigeria? Thirdly, who or which group of people will best serve Nigeria? That is the conversation we should be having. If he did that, he has my 110% support.
Let me go and
sit with him and converse with him. But if he's saying that he must be the one, I say, Asiwaju, the boys have woken up. You trained Fashola is woken up. You trained Yemi is woken up. You trained Kamaru is woken up. You trained Shomolu is woken up. You trained Dapo Abiodun is woken up. Call all of your boys together.
Yeah.
Call all of them. They are brilliant boys. Nasir Rufai, call him. Let's sit around the table. This Nigeria problem, what is best for Nigeria?
Let me go on a break. Be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have Pastor Itua on the show. Yes, Topo, you had a question. Go ahead, please.
Just one. There's a question. Because you're a pastor, I feel like you're the perfect person to answer it. I've said it several times, and a lot of people share my opinion. Professor Yemi Osinbajo is someone I really respect, and he's in between a major, like there are many things going wrong, and we're not seeing him. Do you share the opinion that he should resign, like he should step down, that I'm not effective here, I should just leave? Or should he still stay there? What's your opinion?
Yemi Osinbajo is a very good friend of mine. In fact, he's my brother. We campaigned together in 2015. We supported him and all that. He's really between very difficult situations here, between two principals and things like that. And one of the things that Yemi has said, or one of the things I've heard said, is that he's in fact more effective where he is, and there are few things that he can do and make happen, okay? But I wish he would also express his own opinion a bit louder and let us know exactly how he's thinking and what he is. But he must feel that, well, at this point in time, maybe the best approach is to maintain a steady hand and be calm and be a calming force over the nation, over the polity, and so on and so forth, and douse a few fires, okay? As to what he should do will be his own personal decision. I will not discuss that on the public space. If I have the opportunity to discuss with him, then we can plan a strategy as to what really is most important and also in the best interest of Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay? One thing I know about Yemi is that he thinks a lot about the best interest of Nigeria, and therefore he must have a good idea what he's thinking about.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just worried that this conversation of people coming together to decide what is best for Nigeria is going to take us away from the hopes that the zoning will continue. Because, we have said that this particular region, we have leadership, and it goes to the next region, and it goes to the next region. Now it gets to the turn of somebody from the Igbo extraction, and everybody's saying, okay, let's come together, let's ask questions. Do you think that the fact that we haven't restructured, do you think that if we take it away from zoning, as we had planned to, that is going to cause a lot more confusion in the Nigerian space?
Zoning in itself is not quite appropriate. Zoning in itself is not quite appropriate. Zoning talks about sharing, not about building.
Service.
You are zoning because you feel it is your turn to take of the natural resources of this country. So the Igbos are agitating because they feel it's their turn to go in there and hopefully bring a lot of the resource of Nigeria to their side.
I beg to disagree, sir.
Okay.
Yes, because it may not be about, so every other region has gotten an opportunity to lead. So whether it's building or it's taking, they have been given that opportunity to. Now, if you take it away from the Igbo man because you feel zoning is more like taking, why did you allow the other people? Why are you coming to that realization now? At the turn of the Igbo man.
This is my opinion.
I know.
It is not a national opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It is not a national opinion. So, ab initio, zoning was wrong.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned. You want the best in class. When you choose the Green Eagles, you zone.
We don't zone.
We don't zone, no.
We don't zone. We choose the best.
You're the best.
Choose the best because you want to win the cup.
We want Nigeria to win.
So if you want Nigeria to win, you choose the best.
So are you saying that there is no best?
Nima,
what I'm saying is that Nigerians have not enthroned the process to choose the best. Instead of zoning, we should choose the best. If I'm the best leader of Nigeria, you will be good, you will be fine, you will be all right, you will be okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who is president. The important thing is that we want the best person who thinks for Nigeria to be president. In America, do they zone?
I don't hope, I hope not.
So this whole issue of zoning is an aberration in the first place. And it was planted by the British.
Wow.
To cause confusion. Instead of giving us a process that will bring the best. So in fact, the British pushed away the best. They didn't allow the best to prosper. They put the best in jail because they knew that if this gentleman led this country, they will be shut out and they will have no more influence.
Yeah. So,
Are you with me?
Yes, we get
But
you.
then to talk about the Igbo people, if you want me to talk about them, I'm one of the people who keeps telling them, rise up and fight. Rise up and challenge the system. Rise up and take your place. The only problem with the Igbos was that in 1966 January, everybody thought they chested out too soon. And they're still paying the price for seeming to chest out too soon. Nziogu led a coup, killed most of the Northerners, killed a few Westerners. They still have not been forgiven
For that.
Because the
let me
president
take you. Can I
let me stand for a second with Miriam. Because the first 6 years, the president was from Southeast, Nnamdi Kanu, we remember?
Well, it was ceremonial.
Ceremonial, yeah.
And then the first Ministry of the State also was Southeast. So I don't want us to paint the picture as if it never happened. That's why I wanted to just throw that in. That we've had people from the Southeast lead
At the
this
beginning.
nation at some point. But go ahead, Mariam.
Yeah, so I just want you to take your mind to reality, the sad state of our economy. And many people are agitating restructuring, and for many of us, it means resource control. They're saying we want the states and the governors to be able to determine, how to use their resources to develop their own states, and then maybe give to the federal government instead of the way it is done right now. Do you think that will be a better arrangement to help us with where we are right now?
Much better arrangement. Much better. You see, the military also introduced a culture of come to daddy for pocket money.
Exactly. Nobody is working.
So even at the age of 50, you are still living in your daddy's house and coming to daddy for pocket money.
And we're over 60.
Yes.
For how long? At the age of 60. So every day, you wake up, you go to daddy, you say, where's my pocket money? Like the prodigal son. You go back to your state, you take a lot, the eldest brother of the state, the governor, takes most of the money, pays some salary, and
That's it.
that's it. He doesn't sit to think that in my bedroom and in my house, what are the things I can do and make something and give daddy money instead of taking money from daddy. You know, Yorubas have a saying that when a rat is old, it is the breast of his children it sucks. The Nigerian rat is so old, but he has no children to suck their breasts. So we need to go back and make laws that will enable the children to work and harvest and bring forth more, as against sharing this little yam that has been baked and cooked and is growing and is the one yam tree. Meanwhile, in every child's room, there's corn, there's wheat, there's barley.
So, Itua, because of time, we have to rush off. I spoke to a young man yesterday who was so bright. He dropped out of school, and he was part of the NSAS movement. I mean, he was proudly, he said, Mariah, I was at the forefront of NSAS. So, I mean, he was talking. And from what he said, I wanted to get a sense of, okay, since you are at NSAS, what's your next plan? 2023 is around the corner. What are you doing? So what's the game plan? And he, like, do you have a voter's card? He said he doesn't have it, and I was reminding him that he's starting. In your view, what do you think should be the next game plan? 2023 is around the corner. And we still have the APC, PDP options. And everyone was talking about a third force. Let's ask what else, who are the other parties? And not that everyone has gone silent. We've gone mum. Between last year, October, to now. There's no strong movement of, okay, we are the new guys. This is the youth party. In your view, do you think we all should just align to APC, PDP? Or should we still find a third party coming for 2023?
I think our best plan is to find a third party. You may need to take people from APC, people from PDP, whatever, but you need a third party. Because the way those parties are structured now, the people who are going to come out as presidential candidates, they know themselves.
Already.
It's already cut.
Already.
There's just a few, not more than 4 or 5 people. And if we are fortunate, out of the 4 or 5, they'll give us the best. But the way they are constituted now, I'm not sure, to be honest, that they will give us the best for Nigeria. They will give us what suits them. I call them the gatekeepers of Nigeria. So a new set of people who are thinking for Nigeria ought to emerge. The young people could have done this, but they have been scared and brutalized. It's very, very difficult for these young people to emerge again and say, we are ready. Because what was done to them at that toll gate is something that will frighten anybody. And this is what has happened. They're traumatized. I'm hoping that one or two of them can rise. But even if they rise, the parents will say, don't go. So we're traumatized. The young people are traumatized. The other thing is that everybody's waiting for somebody to bail the cat.
Yes.
Who will bail the
You
cat?
can bail the cat. You need to run for office. We'll vote for you.
They have the ministry already.
Also, there's the
You have
cost
a lot
of
of
running.
movement.
There's the cost of running for office.
Yeah.
I mean, when you
Yes,
hear
very
how much
expensive.
they buy these tickets from, I'm like, no wonder they feel that they have to go in there and pay back
And they
their
have to
due.
give rice, they have to give all those things everywhere.
So what do you tell a young person that's trying to come together? You know, creating a new party has to be their best bet then. Because to buy a ticket from all these established parties is near impossible.
Near impossible. It's expensive to create a new party. Will you raise money for me?
Oh, we'll raise the money.
Raise the
500
money.
per day.
Raise the money.
We
Raise
can raise
and
the
let's
money.
talk. You know, I may not necessarily even run for office, but we can start something that will encourage people, first of all, to get involved. Everybody must go and get their PVC.
At least.
They must. Secondly, they must collectively agree and decide who they would rather see in Aso Rock. We must agree on that.
I like that.
We have to agree.
If we all agree, then we know who we don't want there. Then, if we know maybe there are 3, 4, 5 people that we think can do this thing in Aso Rock, let us go and encourage them and support them and lift them up and say, you know what, go for it. Let's provide a structure for you to go for it. But let everybody go and get their PVC. That is the only legal way now.
Sometimes I question, is it one person we need, or we need a whole group of people to just infiltrate everywhere? Because just one person, yes.
Yeah, you might, if you can get a team, it will be fantastic. A team of people who are willing to work together.
Yeah.
So you know a few people that you like. Identify them. Let's go and talk to them and say, come and do
We'll
this
support you.
thing.
Okay,
We
PI.
will
We'll start with
support you.
PI.
No problem.
Support you.
If you are serious, be serious.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have time.
Yeah, we don't have time.
Honestly, we don't have time. If we're serious, let us be serious.
Yes.
Let's not leave it at conversation. I know what I am personally doing on a daily basis concerning this matter. I want the best for Nigeria.
Simple.
Because I think that Nigeria is great
Yeah.
and is magnificent,
Right.
and everybody will be happy,
If we get it
including
right.
the keepers of the gates.
Right.
They'll be happy. How much does a man need
To be happy.
to be happy?
Simple.
Ew.
How much do you need?
I was telling the young man yesterday, Pastor Itua, that Nigeria is the hope of the black race across the world.
It is.
And we need to keep that.
20%
Once
of
we
black
get it
people
right.
are Nigerians. And Nigerians are brilliant. Everywhere you go in the world, they are
You shine.
tops. Even in NASA. If you allow them, Nigeria will run for president in America.
And win.
If Obama can win, why can't we win? Obama is a first-generation Kenyan.
Yeah.
You understand? But all we need is to go in the right direction for the good of all. There's more than enough.
On
There's
that
no
note,
part
we
of
have to
Nigeria
end.
that is not blessed.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Pastor
Pastor.
Itua.
Thank you.
Bringing you on the show today was going to be very refreshing. Thank you for encouraging us, and we just hope that your dream for Nigeria will come about in your lifetime.
Amen.
God's grace.
Amen.
That's, want to say final word?
Well, let's all keep praying. Let's all keep believing in Nigeria. Let's all start to do things. Things that will cause a change.
Do something. Do something. That's all we can take on the show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.